We had a very fruitful meeting of G20 today. It's our privilege and honor to have hosted this event in Shillong. This has resulted in not only positioning our capital as a capable place to hold an event of this magnitude. I'm happy to say many of the ambassadors and delegates were appreciating the very well recognizing and appreciating the hospitality extended by our people here. I'm proud to say that even the stalls of ISRO and startups, even our Rinte, our mulberry, our Eri silk, our own lakadam, our honey, everything was appreciated. I hope and pray that this should lead into more footfalls in tourism, more investment in the sectors which can bring in more employment for the people of Meghalaya, and far more collaboration beyond the 28 projects which we are doing with NISAP in various sectors, from agriculture, water, afforestation, even for Shillong traffic decongestion. We are using the NISAP as supporting us in identifying the places which are possible expansion of parking areas and widening of roads. These kind of things would really project the destination. Again, we hope that this will lead into far more investment, far more visitation, and positioning Shillong as a prime destination of beauty, nature's bounty, and the destination you will never forget. Thank you very much.
To host the Precursor event for the Space Economy Leaders Meet, which is going to be held soon in July. This is one of the unique events that we conducted here in Shillong, where we invited the ambassadors, the high commissioners, councillors, industries from G20 nations to come over here and to have an initial meeting, building up the momentum towards the Space Economy Leaders meeting during July. This location of this Precursor event was decided by Government of India and the G20 Secretariat, considering the fact that Shillong is one of the important places where Department of Space finds it suitable for us to have greater engagement in the future. We created the Northeastern Space Application Center here many years back, and it has been very fruitful, beneficial to the community here, the states here. The 8 states which are located here are deriving very good benefits out of the engagement of the space activity that's happening here. What we are doing in Northeastern Space Application Center is making use of the data coming from our Indian satellites and other foreign satellites to understand and study the areas very well, and then feed very informative decision-making tools at the behest of the government of Meghalaya and other states here. That's what just now he mentioned, that there is great amount of benefit that is coming to this region. And while we are inviting high commissioners, ambassadors, and other dignitaries to this place, it also become a popular destination for space. Today we know space is not only being done as an interest for high technology, but it also brings benefit to the public, the common good, and we are currently deriving it in India very much. There is also an increasing awareness everywhere that it's not only for certain applications of the government and administration, but it also brings in business and opportunities for startups and industries in the sector. That's why Department of Space, which consists of 3 other entities, the ISRO, which you already know, the new entity called the InSpace, and NSIL together put up this show of having this meeting for Monday to bring in more and more understanding about the utility of space for greater benefits of the nation, as well as for bringing in more business and economical progress for the country as well as other G20 nations. While we debated on this topic here, we made it a very important point to make all our invitees to understand, and we also sought their opinion on it. And a few ideas that emerged which involved. One, that there is a great expansion of economic activity in space going to happen in the coming days. The scale of economy that India is hardly 2% of the global economy, and we need to expand it further. For that, we need to bring in private actors in space, and that's why there are many industries and startups that you can see here, and they are making big inroads in the possible business opportunity in space in the coming days. And this will come only out of the engagement in bringing space as a tool for growth, especially. I will take example of what we see in the northeastern states, which is very rich in natural resources, and it has also greater issues related to the climate change, the weather, the vagaries of the nature. All of these are their bigger issues. And while we look at from space, that we are able to get a synoptic view of what is happening on the surface of the Earth, and we can make an analysis and assessment that gives informed decision making possible by the administrators and the government. So this is a tool which is very, very useful for everybody, and we want to make sure that it's not being done just as a governmental activity. It is possible for startups in this state or maybe adjacent states to come out with ideas where it can be made useful for various business opportunities as well in the coming years. We are very happy along with Dr. Goenka. He is the chairman of the Indian Space, which is the International Space Promotion and Authorization Center, which is newly created to engage with the private sector in space. They are making great inroads into this activity, and you can actually see that in the exhibits that are there. And we foresee in the future that the support of ISRO will be able to take the space activity to the nook and corners of India in the coming years. Thank you so much for this opportunity, and we will be able to take your more questions. Of course, I leave it to Dr. Goenka to say a few words about InSpace and its activities. And also we'll talk about the SELM event that is going to happen in Bangalore during July. Thank you.
All I want to add is that all the foreign delegates who were here, and there were people from 15 different countries, they were all absolutely delighted with the hospitality that has been provided by Meghalaya and all the arrangements that have been made from airport to hotel and in the hotel. In fact, all of them will be visiting, going sightseeing in Meghalaya tomorrow. This is the first time for many of them to see this beautiful state. So I think my compliments to the whole machinery in this state for arranging this event so well. We had a very rich dialogue on different themes that we put together today. And this was a precursor event, and all the people who are here are the people who are based in Delhi for these countries. And this will lead to the main event in July. But I think this event was very useful because it aroused curiosity among all the people who are here. And I'm sure they'll brief their space chiefs in their countries, and they will all then come to the July meeting. In space, Chairman so asked me to talk about it. As he said, that in space is a new organization set up by the Government of India to authorize space activity and also to promote space activity in the private sector. We are doing that. It's a very interesting and very opportunistic area for India, and we'll talk more about it if you have any questions. But for now, I leave it here and open the floor for any questions you may have.
Meantime, let me take this opportunity to thank the Meghalaya administration, the Chief Minister of Meghalaya, Mr. Conrad Sharma, and all the team from NISAC who were behind us to organize this event, and especially to this hotel. It's a beautiful hotel and having fantastic facilities. It hosted all our delegates and also provided this beautiful venue for this meeting. Thanks to all of them.
I think the hotel should take pride in a statement made by one of the ambassadors that this is the best food that he has had in any Indian hotel so far. Yeah. So he was very happy with the food here.
If you have to do mining on other objects like Moon, Mars, or asteroids, we need to create certain capability in space. Capability. The first and foremost is robotic capability of landing on some surface, then doing some activity, then return from that place back to Earth. This is a slow progress of capability that need to be acquired over a period of time. Even today, if you look at other nations, the ability to bring back some material from other objects, including Moon or Mars, is actually very, very in the primitive level. Many of you may be knowing that there are many nations who did missions to Moon they could bring only small samples of rocks. And for the mission that many people undertook to Mars, they couldn't bring any material so far. Even for asteroids, you know that recent submissions which were done to some of the asteroids, they could bring back few milligrams of material from there. Now we are talking about mining an asteroid means that we need to lift huge masses, you need to sometimes take a drilling equipment or a machinery to that place, then do the drilling and bring back using another rocket which will take off from there and come back to Earth. It requires following things. One, we need to have rockets which will be able to take heavy masses to orbit. That means our present rocket capability need to be expanded. We need to enhance our ability to handle robotic missions which will last for many years. Recently, just yesterday, there was a mission announced to Jupiter. Probably you know that going up to Jupiter and coming back takes almost 8 years plus. So it's a long way off. But then everybody is speaking about this because there is a potential in this. But humanity is like this, that we will envision something for the future and work towards making small steps today. Possibly, you know, the human space flight to moon was like that. Many years back, America went to the moon, landed few people on moon. But over next 50 years, there was nobody going to moon. But today there is a renewed interest in going to moon because we find a possibility of going to moon at much lower cost than what we did many years back. So the change today is that access to space is available to people at lower cost, and the ability to carry heavy masses to space is actually on the increase, and we are also working towards that capability development in India. So it's a long way off story, but let us not lose interest that there is no possibility tomorrow, but it will be there maybe 10 years from now or 20 years from now. So for that we need to see the first steps. So we are making those first steps today. Not only India, but also all nations are making those initial steps towards such possibilities of material mining from space.
Can you tell us? Add more to it. While Somnath said that we are years away before any meaningful asteroid mining can happen, but you'll be happy to know that the new Indian space policy permits the private sector to do asteroid mining. So if anybody wants to get into it, they are allowed. And the second thing is there are some startups that have started working on these things, very early step. So on one hand, ISRO is doing everything that Somnath talked about, private sector also has interest. But I absolutely agree that we are years away from doing any meaningful asteroid mining.
One question to ISRO Chief, how long it will take for an alternate living in the space? Now we get data, satellites are there, so how long it will take, alternate living, so that we can go and live there?
People are living in space already. For example, people went into International Space Station, possibly you know that they were living there for years together. So human beings have developed the capability to travel outer space and live there for years together. Possibly in another few years from now, people will be living on moon as well, I am very sure about it. And there is already plans to create bases in Mars and transport people in thousands of numbers to Mars and create the human colonies on Mars. So the story up to Moon, Mars are okay. Now you can manage in travel times of years, months, etc. But if you want to go to planets, we call it exosolar planets, where there is a possibility like a Earth-like atmosphere, and Earth-like plant living place is there, but they are light years away. For human beings to travel up to that and then live requires new technologies. The present state of technologies don't allow human beings to travel beyond solar system or in the periods of their lifetime and then create colonies. But this is again another dream that human beings have. We are not going to be extinct. We are going to live beyond our solar system. So I think my generation later, maybe a few generations later, there will be somebody traveling to an exosolar planets. And I can tell you, because of the space technology, the instruments that we have put in space, we have now discovered at least 5,000 planets which are similar to Earth. And at least in 5,000, maybe hundreds of them would be habitable for human beings, with a temperature which is like Earth, with water available, with air to breathe. But even to travel to the nearest star where there is a possibility of an exosolar planets is 4 light years away. The next one is 25 light years away. That means that human beings will take generations to travel. Maybe husband and wife will travel, their children have to marry next family. You have to find another family traveling so that they can marry off. So their generations after traveling, they should reach there and then get into colonize. Otherwise, you need to create a new technology of keeping people in suspended animation, and then they will come alive after reaching there, maybe hundreds of years later. So these are all dreams and possibilities, scientifically possible, but technologically currently not possible.
Sir, so you mentioned about the richness of Meghalaya and northeastern states as a whole in terms of the natural resources. We are talking about, you mentioned about space mining, but at the same time, people out here and the whole, even in the country, they are talking about scientific mining. What is the solution to this? Because even now, we are not being able to have the so-called scientific mining.
You said it right. I think we need to solve the problems of Earth first and then go to space. So there are plenty of possibilities on Earth itself. For example, mining, you mentioned mining. We are currently helping mining industry in a big manner. For example, through space, you can actually find out the extent of mining, the volume of those mining possibility, make estimate of how much mineral that you can catch from a place. This is currently being done. Another area is that in the mining locations, there are huge water resources, and how much water resources can be found out from the mining sites. This is another service that we are doing. Yet another service is mining prospecting. That means which locations are likely to have a mining for a certain mineral. This can be found out by hyperspectral imaging of the land, and you can actually detect certain elements which are there using satellite data, and then say, yeah, if you go here, you will find magnesium. If you go here, you will find zinc. This is also being done using space technology. But possibly you know that mining is a very complicated activity. It is not related to space alone. It is more to do with the locality. Sometimes it is under cover of the forest. You won't be able to get enough data. It is where there are human habitation, and you won't be allowed to have mining there. So there are a lot of other problems, more than what space can offer. But space can offer solutions of whatever I mentioned. And there is a huge potential of business in this domain. Possibly, India, the mining possibility extends to many states here. And if you can provide good amount of hyperspectral data, which is very scarce today, and many startups and industries are coming forward to build new hyperspectral capability, which will definitely give better mining prospects for India. I'm happy with that, sir, or you need any specific more points? If required, Dr. you would like to add any further answers? He's here. For northeastern states? Okay.
So one more question. Funding has been a major issue right from Homi Baba and Vikram Sarabhai's time for ISRO, and that is true for the startups too. Are you satisfied with the funding that the government is providing you as of now?
Let me first answer that your conclusion of the funding is not adequate is not right. The government has been very, very helpful and forthcoming to fund as much as we want. This is a fact. The only question is how much we really want, and how much is the extent of money that we can actually demand from government. For whatever program was Department of Space and ISRO government has always funded. In fact, we were not able to spend that much of money. That is the truth. Now, from the Sarabhai's time onwards, there has been extremely good support from government. And we are progressing over a period of time. Even today, last year, that we were able to spend only 11,000, 10,000 crores. This year, the government has sanctioned 12,000 plus crores. That means they have sanctioned more money than we actually spent last year. So there is absolutely no proper fund for as far as Department of Space is concerned. Again, the next question is about the startups and industries who are coming in space sector. This again is a function of how much they are able to become as a business-like operation. For example, you need to create a capital-intensive industry to start with. Then you need to derive benefits, economic outcome out of it, and it should become a profitable business. It generally takes long gestation period in space. This is one of the bigger challenges in space. So this gestation period, who are able to accept and operate, they become successful. Possibly, SpaceX, very well that they took almost many tens of years to become very successful, and they were almost at the verge of the failure. But then they got a success one day. So that's why we said in the meeting today, there are three important segments in space. One is the downstream segment, which is big in size, which is more into applications, where the investments are low, the returns of investment are high. Then the midstream, which is mostly into satellite building and instruments building for ground application, etc. There the investment is medium and returns are also medium scale. But there is another is upstream activity, which is launch vehicle, where the investments are very high, but the returns are low. So there are three different domains. So we need to start working on the downstream applications more to create the scale of economy, which will feed into the midstream and upstream applications. So this is how a nation should progress. And exactly the same way Sarabhai did in India, we started with applications, slowly progressing to satellite, and then creating the launch capability. I suggest the same thing for industries and startups as well.